you've seen the title, this is an arms biased arm and shoulder workout, and the first exercise we have here is reverse cable curls. Now this is an exercise which places emphasis on the forearms and working in the 15 to 20 rep range and using a double progression model. So if I'm able to do 3 sets of 20, next week I would add a little bit of weight. I like to start arm workouts with forearms for 3 reasons. Firstly, forearms are a weak point of mine, and I feel like if I don't start with them, I probably won't train them seriously. Second reason, it's a good way for me to warm up the elbows before the heavy arm work. Thirdly, it's one of the few cases where pre-exhaustion can be useful. A lot of people complain that when they're doing their bicep curls that their forearms take over. So pre-exhausting the forearms is a good way to ensure that when you do your actual bicep specific work, that the forearms don't take over. The next exercise we have is hammer curls. It's going to be doing 2 sets in a reverse pyramid fashion, meaning that you start with a heavier weight on the first set, then the next set you decrease the weight. So for the first set, I'm aiming for 12 reps. So I'll be training in around anywhere in that 6 to 12 rep range. Then once I'm able to get 12 reps, I'll increase the weight for that specific set. Notice how I'm keeping my torso vertical. Obviously this is the heavier set, so the form is a little bit looser, but nothing out of the ordinary. So this is still acceptable. Then after that set, as you can see, decrease the weight. The rep goal is going to be 15 reps. Hammer curls are quite good because, they recruit your biceps, but they also engage a muscle called the brachialis, which sits underneath your bicep and runs in between your upper arm and your forearm. And it's a muscle that is often neglected by most people who train. Right, next up we have a superset. This is the real meat and potatoes of the arm routine. This is our heavy exercise. We're doing a superset of easy bar bicep curls. As you can see, just standard curls, nothing fancy. Supersetting that with no rest in between with easy bar skull crushers. Now, obviously I adjust the weight for each exercise because I am stronger on the skull crushers compared to the bicep curls. And again, these are done in a reverse pyramid fashion. Going to be doing 3 sets, where the first set, the first goal was 8. Then for the second set, the goal for this is 10 reps and decrease the weight by 10%. Just some quick form cues. As you can see for the bicep curls, I'm keeping a straight back, and when my form starts to break down, that's when I terminate the set. Likewise for the skull crushers, bring the barbell behind your head instead of towards your head. That way you get a better stretch in your triceps and it's easier on the elbows. Right, next up we have another superset. This time we've got incline curls supersetted with incline dumbbell skull crushers. So for the incline curls, as you can see, your arms are starting behind you. This is going to place emphasis on the stretched position of the movement, or the stretched position for your bicep, which is going to emphasize the long head. So when your arms are behind you, it emphasizes the long head of the bicep, which is on the outer portion. And then as you can see for the incline skull crushers, this time we're at an incline just so you have a bit more space to move, introduce a bit more range of motion for the exercise. And again, bring the dumbbells behind your head if you can and allow your shoulders to move ever so slightly. That way it's going to be easier on their elbows. And you're doing 3 sets, as many reps as you can, with the rep goal of 40. So you increase the weight when you can do a total of 40 reps for that specific exercise. Next up, we've got spider curls supersetted with overhead dumbbell extensions. So for the spider curls, this is going to place emphasis on the inner portion of your biceps, so the short head. When your arms are in front of you, it does emphasize the short head of the bicep, or in simpler terms, it emphasizes the squeezing portion of the movement. And again, as you can see, we've got another overhead tricep type movement. I'm someone with shorter arms, so I like to emphasize overhead type movements for the triceps, and I recommend doing the same. And next up, we've got skiers. So this is an exercise for the rear delts or rear deltoids, and I'm moving the dumbbells up and out until my upper arms form a 45-degree angle with my body. If you want a more detailed tutorial on these, you can check my shoulders explained video. But yeah, one of my favorite exercises for the rear delts. And the last exercise, this is a brutal shoulder finisher. Nice way to bully your side delts into growing. Doing lateral raises, where you do this almost the same as a standard lateral raise, but then you're raising the dumbbells up and over your head. Full range of motion. And you're going to aim to do 15 to 20 of these. And then when you're done with them, you're going to go straight into standard lateral raises without any rest. And on the standard lateral raises, you're going to match the reps you did on the lateral raises no matter what. So you can take rest pauses if you need to, that's fine, but you're just going to match the reps you did on the first set of lateral raises without any reps. The reason we go straight into standard lateral raises is because They aren't as difficult as the lateral raises. However, at this point your shoulders are fried and these are going to feel just as difficult. And this is what's known as a mechanical drop set. So you go straight from a mechanically disadvantaged exercise to a more mechanically advantageous exercise. But yeah, at this point you've already got some level of fatigue and treating your shoulders like a madman. And you're going to do 3 sets of that. You only increase the weight when you can do 3 sets of 20 for both. Now that concludes the video. Hope you found that useful. If you enjoyed that, let me know by leaving a subscription, hitting the like button, turning on the notification bell. If you are looking for a way to start your gym routine, then you can head to my website, trainingwithtaku.com. There's a guide for you there, Hench Head Start, and it'll tell you how to structure all your programming needs. Hope that helps. In a bit.